ready to go here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regular monthly meeting of the City of Independence Board of Adjustment. The board was created by the city charter to hear applications for variances from the zoning ordinance requirements and to hear and render decisions on interpretations of the requirements of the zoning ordinance. The board consists of 5 voting members. It requires 4 affirmative votes for approval of any variance or interpretation. All cases on the agenda will be heard in the order listed. The order of proceeding for each case shall be as follows. Applicant shall present his case, his or her case. Persons in favor of the variance shall present their evidence. Persons opposed to the variance shall present their evidence. The applicant shall be given a rebuttal period. The public hearing will be closed and no further testimony will be accepted. The normal procedure is that the board will discuss and take action on the application. All meetings of the board are open to the public. Anyone in the audience who thinks for any reason they will speak before the board tonight, please stand and take the oath. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth in all matters pertaining to the cases before the Board of Adjustment? Please say, I do. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, we got the roll call here. Gene Ogle.
Here.
Jack Lehman.
Here.
Tim Watkins.
Here.
And Robert Jones, that's me, here. Okay. Stuart, are we just 1 and 2 doing those together as one?
Sure, you can just continue both cases at the same time.
So I just say this one was continued to tonight, and then we're just going to continue to the next meeting next month, right?
Yeah, or you can have somebody make a motion and then second and then continue them.
Okay, so we just need to say the one tonight, we're going to continue till next month? Is that what
cases on the agenda 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. Continue public hearings that we had last month was Douglas Deltoff, 1400 South Franklin Drive here in Independence, case number 18-999-12, and it was continued to this meeting tonight, October the 18th of 2018 Board of Adjustment. But for tonight's meeting, the same party, Douglas Deltoff, of the same address and so forth, they've changed the case number to 18-999-13, a variance request to the setback and fence requirement.
No, there was no change in the case number. That is a second case.
Oh, you mean there's going to be 2 cases?
There was going to be 2 cases.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, and he's continuing, the one that was continued before and this new case is also being continued.
Oh,
so
okay.
2 cases being continued.
So there's 2 cases that'll be the same night or whenever he does this. Okay. All right, so.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
may I make a motion to continue case 18-99-12 and case 1899-13 to the October 18th meeting?
Okay.
Second.
You second it, Tim? Okay. So we have a vote on that. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Jack Lehman,
Yes.
Tim Watkins,
Yes.
Robert Jones, yes. So those case numbers, do I just say case number 18-999-12 and case number 18-999-13, Douglas Deltoff, 1400 South Franklin Drive, has been continued to the meeting, and that's going to be next month? Is that correct? Or do we know?
October 18th.
On the agenda
Oh, it's on October. Okay. Been continued to October the 18th, 2018 Board of Adjustment meeting. All right, so that takes care of those 2. Number 3, case number on the agenda tonight is 18-999-14, Infinity Sign System, 3901 South Bulger Drive here in Independence. A variance request to the sign requirements for the property at 3901 South Bulger Drive. And so do we do the film first?
Yeah, the applicant seeks to place a sign on the front and the rear elevation of their space, which is in the center that's it's under construction, and
Mhm.
also place a third sign, which he needs the variances for, on this elevation. So they'll have 3 signs instead of 2. And we'll look, this building is under construction. I had to shoot this through the fence.
Okay.
This is the Smoothie King that's on this end of the building. You guys did a Board of Adjustment approval of a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm, okay.
So
remember
the
that.
Verizon wishes to place their sign on the back, which is on the end of this building. There's the smoothie drive-through here, so it would be on the back or the end here, not on the back of the building, but on the side, pretty much right above where that electric generator is and the white little trailer there. Okay. Okay, and we can see that's the actual back of the building,
Okay.
and this site's under construction, and we're panning to the front. That's the glass
Is
windows
that
for the
east
Smoothie
side
King.
there? Is that the east side there that we're talking about?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
That's the east elevation. Again, the Verizon sign will be right above that little white trailer thing there.
Oh, okay.
This is another picture of the elevation. That's a smoothie window there. That's their drive-through. And again, the Verizon sign is going to be on that wall, kind of right above where the trailer is.
Okay.
And I think I have one more of this one. Yes.
And that's,
Here's more of the front of the, hang on just a minute. Down there, that kind of the middle space that you see, that's either the second or the two, one of the 2 middle spaces, I believe is the one closest, just past that white truck,
okay.
is where Verizon's actually going to go.
Okay.
Their sign's going to go up on that panel, and then they have all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, they have all that. They have all that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so, and that's, I got you.
Okay, you're ready to go. So they're seeking a variance to add 3 signs for this application instead of
Okay.
the 2 maximum.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so do we have someone that's going to speak on behalf of the owners or the Infinity Signs people?
Yep. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Scott Huston. I'm with Infinity Sign here in Kansas City.
Okay, all right.
I'm representing Verizon for this variance request. As you saw, this is a newly constructed building that's going to be housing 4 tenants. The one on the end is the Smoothie King, which you guys have already approved a variance for them to have a 3rd sign on that elevation that's facing east. This property is kind of unique just due to the fact that it's got 3 entrances coming into the property, one on the west and then 2 kind of on the northeast and the southeast corner. So Verizon is requesting a variance to add an additional sign to that elevation, which will be in accordance with the code for 10% to include both those 2 signs for that building elevation.
Okay. All right. Stuart, didn't we talk about, when we were in July, didn't we talk about they would be, when they came before the board, they would be wanting to get a additional sign on the east side of the facade?
I actually wasn't at that meeting, but it's
was
my
Brian.
understanding from Brian that, yes,
So
that
they,
was discussed.
they talked about it at that meeting, the people that were representing the, what do you call it there?
The
The
Smoothie King,
Smoothie King, yeah.
At the meeting, it wasn't in your packet, but at the meeting, they brought in the drawing that showed the Verizon sign on it.
Okay.
And the Smoothie King.
Okay,
gave that to
but they said they would be, when they came before, they would be coming back or something, right? All right.
I do have a rendering. I don't know if you guys have that in your
Yeah, I
packet.
think we got, we got that, but on our rendering, we didn't, I don't know if.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
ours is the very same.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at the very same thing.
And that elevation is the east elevation that faces both
Okay,
those 2
that's,
entrances.
that's what you're showing there, is that, okay, I got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it looks like you're gonna have a nice,
Next page.
right here?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, that's the east elevation, okay, looking at the review by the city, what we call this,
Staff comments.
staff comments, they have 6, listed 6 names that they want the applicant to
The hardships they want us to.
Hardships, I'll get it right here in a minute. Hardships, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And on this particular one, they've got on their number, I guess number 3, that requiring strict compliance with the subject zoning regulation will constitute a practical difficulty for the subject property owner. No, although abutting multiple streets is unique. Most businesses, this is from the city staff comments, in C2 zoning districts get by with less exposure. And then also on number 5, alleged hardship is not being created by any person presently having an interest. No, as the applicant is requesting a third facade sign for this soon-to-be constructed tenant space and layout at the chosen location. But I remember at the meeting we had the people there with the Smoothie King, is it, said that because of the traffic coming from the east going west, that they really needed that because, well, there was other obstructions, I guess, there, and by going 35 or 40 miles an hour, they might miss it, and this way they could see it on coming that way, whereas coming from the west to east, it wasn't really that much of a problem, but going from east to west, it
is
was.
the problem, yes.
And that was one of the things they told us.
Correct.
So I think that's still a legitimate reason why they need this. So
I agree.
I guess I can ask the staff, you all haven't gotten any calls on this, have you?
I didn't receive any calls
Okay.
on this, no.
Well, other than that, the other hardships are all yeses. I personally, we approved it for the Smoothie King, and so I think we're. Does anybody else have any other comments on the board here?
Does Smoothie King have any objections to this being on the side of their particular shop?
I don't know, I didn't have any contacts with
No,
Smoothie King.
which is all.
We are doing Smoothie King as well.
Okay,
So I have
would-
spoke with both parties. They have not objected to anything,
Okay.
and the landlord has approved this. as
Well, like I say, it's, I just remember at the meeting before, here a couple of months ago, it was the, where they could actually see it from going that direction. And that's, and the person that was representing you guys, I guess, was, or I guess it was Infinity Signs. It was
It was actually Smoothie King that was.
Well, the Smoothie King, but
Correct.
they were saying you all were gonna be doing the signs.
That's correct.
So, anyway, so we felt that, there is a reason that it needs to be there. And so we decided that, the strict compliance would, be a hindrance to you guys. So I don't have any other questions myself. Do you guys have any others?
There won't be any confusion between having both signs on the east face?
No, sir, it shouldn't be.
It's pretty.
The only reason, there's a drive-through that is there that is for Smoothie King, but there should be no confusion. That should just tell them that Verizon is in that strip center.
They won't expect window services?
I don't think so. That'd be a first for Verizon.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have any other questions myself. Do you guys? To me, I don't see any problem here. I'd see that it. I don't.
Any others speaking in favor? Of
Is
any-
there anyone here that's not in favor of this in the audience? Well, since there's nobody here and we don't have a rebuttal, is this where we can go ahead and close the
Yeah,
public?
close the public hearing and
We can go
take-
ahead at this time.
discuss it and then vote on it.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. We
Thank you very
appreciate it
much.
very much. All right. Myself, I don't.
Close the public meeting.
It's closed, the public hearing's closed, and so we will make our decision.
We've not addressed number 5.
Oh, number 5,
That was a no as well.
that was a no to,
Staff comments.
okay. Well, I mean, what's your thoughts? I think this was the same way we had the last time we met, so I think this can be construed as a, should be a yes.
If we don't have any further discussion, I would say that I would request that we approve case number 1899-14 as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, now we'll vote. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Jack Lehman,
Yes,
Tim Watkins?
Yes.
And Robert Jones, yes. So, case number 18-999-14, Infinity Sign Systems, 3901 South Bulger Drive here in Independence. This case has been approved unanimously, well, 4-0, so. All right. Thank you for coming, we really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming out.
I meant to say something before, but as
We
there's
have to
only,
get something?
no, but there's only 4 members.
Oh, okay, we
If
have,
the applicant may request their case be continued until there's a 5th.
oh, okay,
But it doesn't matter in this particular case, but in the next 2 cases. it might.
okay, all right. Oh, you mean if it, I thought, Stuart, I thought if we had 4 yeses, that it approves.
Right,
It
it
is,
does.
but one of us votes no.
Oh, I
The
see.
people have a right to wait
Oh, I see.
till we have 5 members present.
Oh,
So if
okay,
one
I
votes no, they still got the 4 approvals.
Okay,
votes
I
to
got you.
approve.
Okay. I see. All right. Okay, so, number 4 on the agenda tonight is case number 18-999-15, Randall Vaughn, 19010 East 8th Street South, a variance request to the lot frontage and area requirements for the property at 19010 East 8th Street South. So, do we have the film that we want to, the video show first?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
This applicant wants to replat a 10,832 square foot lot, which is 100 feet wide, into 2 equally sized 50-foot wide lots. Of course, the code requires 60-foot
Right.
lot frontages. So in short, variances of 10 feet are requested to allow 2 50-foot lots.
Okay.
And then variances of 1,583.61 square feet are requested to permit those 2 lots to each be 5,414.40 square feet
Right.
in area.
Okay.
So, basically, this is, the west one of 2 lots on the north side of 8th Street, undeveloped, that are 100 feet wide.
Okay.
So we're looking, at, we're looking at the lot, and then this right here is the lot next door that's in front of the car. And these are the neighbors across the street. And
Okay.
then we're looking back to the west where 8th Street dead ends. And then this is the lot itself again,
Okay.
and its neighbor, similar size to the east.
Okay. All right.
I did get one complaint at the counter from, I believe the lady who was the actual seller of the property. I think she lives across the street or close
The
by.
person that's selling it, you mean, or has sold
That
it?
actually sold it to the applicant. And then, what else? Oh, as far as, we show it meeting one of the 6 hardships in the opinion of staff.
Right. Okay. Okay, do we have,
Is that the video that you showed us? Is that the only video, or is that the rest of it?
Yeah, that's a whole video.
well, I guess then we,
I mean, it's a fairly flat, I mean, that's the lot right there.
okay, do we have, the applicant that wants to come before the board come forward, please?
Gentlemen, I've applied for this variance because at the time that I purchased the property, it is a rather large lot. I was told by the real estate agent that the utilities were readily available, and they are there at a very large cost. So it's gonna cost me $10,000 or better for just a sewer.
Oh, there's no sewers there now?
I have to do a long run to get to
Oh.
it.
You
Bring
you
it
are,
up to-
you are Mr. Vaughn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And I was just trying to split the
Yeah.
cost. You know,
Okay.
if I could put two
Yeah.
properties there,
yeah,
that would divide up
yeah.
the cost there. That's sewer alone, $10,000. And I've spoke with the utilities for electric. The water is out in the street, but sewer is gonna be the big thing. And the electric company's working with me pretty good. They're gonna go ahead and bring a pole across and set a
Mhm.
transformer there. And I just have to trench underground to the new transformer that's gonna be set there. But the sewer, you know, they'll have to cut the street open for the water, which is no problem, as the water main's out there. It's that sewer is gonna be quite a cost, so I was looking to offset some of those costs by splitting it in two and putting two properties there.
Yeah.
Since the city only needs 5-foot side yards, and I put a 26 to 39 wide foot house there, that would meet those criteria,
Yeah.
but none of the lots in that particular neighborhood are an exact same size, you know, there are different sized lots all through that particular subdivision, so that's why I was asking for that 10-foot variance, so I could try to offset some of my costs.
The only problem I have is when you split a lot like that to 50 feet, I mean, that's why they have 60-foot frontage requirements.
But if you only need 5-foot wide side yards, and I'm not putting houses that.
Well, you could, yeah, you're talking about what, a 40-foot?
Probably, I've got two plans, one's 39 and one's 26 feet wide, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have more than enough room.
I don't know myself, I'll be honest with you. We have these hardships here. We've got no on everyone except the required variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, order, convenience, prosperity, or general welfare. Yes, this is true for both requests. But, I mean, not only does it not meet the requirements for the width, it doesn't meet the requirements for the total square footage. And of course, I don't know if you were even aware of this, were you, that they didn't have sewers? Or did you?
No, I knew that, I was told by the real estate agent that the utilities were readily available and they're ready to go.
Okay.
And when I started, I went ahead and purchased it, and when I started investigating, I got the big surprise.
Yeah.
In fact, someone else has purchased the lot next door, and they found out the same thing, and they put it back up on market because they don't want to have to pay for it. So,
Yeah, I can
so it was
sympathize
a
with
major
you.
misrepresentation.
Yeah, but I just have a problem with going with a 50-foot lot. And I'm not being a hard nose here, I just,
It's just
myself.
gonna make for a very large lot for one house, and it's gonna be,
Either way, you're gonna have to put a sewer there, aren't you?
oh yeah, it's gonna cost me quite a bit of money.
So, were you aware, at the time, did somebody tell you that it had sewers and it didn't, or did you just
No,
never thought
the
about it?
real estate agent, when I spoke with them,
Okay.
that was representing them, said that everything was available, and it is available, but
Yeah.
the loophole is, it's gonna cost you a lot to get there.
Yeah,
It's there though,
yeah,
There.
it's there, yeah.
but good luck.
Yeah, well, that's just me, I don't,
Right.
I can sympathize with you, I
I
completely.
mean, I'm gonna put a nice product there, it's not,
But I just
good.
have a problem with a 50-foot lot. That's just me.
okay?
You all have anything that you would like to state, or, and it meets all but, it only meets one of the 6 hardships.
Okay,
And so that right in itself is, I'm not sure I can put yeses on all those when it's no's on all 5 of the 6.
okay.
And like I say, I wish there was something I could say that, and, because I know it's gotta be hardship for you, but.
Yes.
But, I don't know, I don't know, what do you guys think? Does anybody have any other?
There's a list of 9 people on the back of this, look like all neighbors. Was there any particular reason for submitting that list to us, or did that come from the city, or did that come
I had
from
to do
you?
that.
That was just
That's his list that he had to provide us, that he provided letters to homeowners within
Well, that's just
185
people were
feet.
notified that
Yes.
they were
Yeah.
within a certain distance, okay.
did you have any other, calls besides the one lady that sold the property, is that,
I just had her come to the front. I didn't have any phone calls.
okay.
What was her complaint? What was her complaint? Do you know?
She didn't want that density of 2 lots out of that 100.
Yeah.
But had no problem with selling me an undisclosed situation. Didn't have that problem. Okay.
I don't know,
I mean, if they give my money back.
I just
don't know
can't
what
say,
they can
I
do.
can't,
A field.
myself, I can't, is there anyone here that's against, is here tonight, that's, do we have, this against this,
For it or against it.
for or against it?
For or against it. Okay, well, like
Okay,
you say, if they wanted to give my money back, I'd leave a blank field for them, but that's not gonna happen. So,
yeah, well.
they're gonna keep that in the bank, so.
Well, do we have someone here who would like to speak against this applicant? Well, I guess you can come up to the podium, and thank you for
Okay, thank you,
coming.
sir.
We appreciate your coming out here, Mr. Vaughn. And just state your name and address to the board, so.
My name is Dale Blevins. I live at 18808 East Independence Avenue. I own the property immediately to the north of the lot, that borders the lot there. And it's like you said, a 50-foot lot is just really, really small. It's very small compared to the lots in the East Independence neighborhood where I live. They are not big houses, but they are all on pretty good-sized lots, usually most of an acre. But it's just it's really high density. You can't put a very big house on a lot that small, and it's just seems like it's out of place for the neighborhood. And it's 60 foot is the like you said, is the minimum for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would like to maintain the lot size the way
Okay.
it is.
All right, well, we
Oh,
appreciate
and
you.
there's one other thing I remember from a previous developer issue that I came before the board for. And I thought there was a rule, something about if all the property owners that are immediately adjacent to the property were against a variance like this, that they could stop it. Is that correct?
Well, it's not necessarily a rule.
It's not a rule?
And not necessarily correct either.
Okay,
But-
that's just what I remembered. It's been like
Yeah.
20 years ago, but
Um,
I remember them looking at that.
Well, sometimes it can happen. Go ahead, did you want to say something there?
Well, in rezoning applications, the neighbors can
Stuart?
file a protest petition that would require supermajority approval by the city council. There is no provision in state law or our city code for protest petitions against the Board of Adjustment action.
All right, well, that
Okay.
could be. I just remembered
But
an
yeah,
issue with Ben Kisner 20 years ago. So.
yeah.
Oh, with
Well,
Ben Kisner, okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you
All right.
for coming. We really appreciate it.
But we've had no comments from any of the other neighbors, so it's,
Do we have any other people that want to speak against this application? And give us your name and,
My name's David Balls,
what's your name again?
19015 East 8th Street
Your-
South.
What'd you say your name was, David?
David Baltz, B as in boy, A-L-T-Z.
Oh, okay. All right,
Okay.
Dave.
We sold Mr. Vaughn the property. It was my intentions that it was gonna be built for single-family dwelling.
Okay.
Like Mr. Blevins has said, the area is not brand new, but the houses are set on pretty good sized lots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one big asset for that area, is that everything isn't boxed in against each other.
Right.
And for the area, that's a real asset.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd like to speak against this. I think your 60-foot lot is very, very, is a good ordinance.
Right, right. Well, there's a reason they've had it for years, the
Yeah.
60-foot frontage,
Correct.
because, like you say, density.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it, Mr. Blatz. Is there anyone else here that cares to speak against the application? The applicant, I should say. Do we
Mr. Vaughn, rebuttal.
have for the applicant to come before and ask us as far as a rebuttal? You want to come up? Yeah.
Okay, these are going to be two single-family homes, it's not multi-family living.
Right.
He was saying he was worried about it being something like that. It's not.
Mhm.
It's just, we're talking about two single-family residences that will be as nice, if not nicer, than any of the houses that are there now. So
Okay.
it would be increasing the value of the neighborhood.
Right.
It's, they would be tight. We're talking about 10 feet, but we're not talking about 4 driveways for a duplex or anything like that. We're talking about 2 houses,
Mm-hmm.
3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Okay.
Very nice residences that will sell for probably $200,000 each.
Okay.
So that's all I'm trying to do, trying to offset some of this surprise cost that
Yeah.
had dropped on me is all.
I understand.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming before us, Mr. Vaughn. Yeah,
Close public hearing, yeah.
Do you all have any other comments that you'd like to say?
Close the public hearing and then.
Are we ready to close it? Okay, since we've had the public hearing now is to close, and then we will render a decision here as soon as possible. That's just me. I feel sorry for the guy Mr. Vaughn, because there were some things there that information wasn't given to him, but with a 60-foot lot, and we got to have a 10-foot variance on the lot, and also
5,000 square feet on the
5,000
area.
square feet, because it's only, 100 and some foot deep, is it 108 foot or something like that? It's a tough one, it really is. But I just have a problem myself to approve this application. Do you all have any other things you'd like to say? And I understand he has a
Well,
dog.
I was kind of studying the items here.
And of course, we haven't had anybody here except for the applicant that's been for it, But that isn't the issue here, it's the size. And I just can't really, I mean, I wish I could, but I can't.
Well, Mr.
Right.
Chairman, to handle the case, we need a request to approve, a second, and then we'll
Okay.
vote.
Okay.
So
So,
we've got 5 out of 6 of the criteria that is, we would have to overcome.
and I can't see it. I can't do it.
And you've got neighbors
Mm-hmm.
in opposition. I mean, so this is an uphill battle any way you go.
Well, I guess I'll just make a motion to approve it, and this case number 18-999-15 Randall Vaughn, applicant 19010 East 8th Street South, a variance request to the lot frontage and area requirements for the property at that same address. I made a motion. Do we?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the variance, both variances as requested.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
You're going to second
Yes.
the approval?
Yes. And
Okay. Then we'll vote. All right. Gene Ogle?
Since I guess I have to vote no, although I've got to vote no.
Okay. All right. Jack Lehman?
I vote no.
Tim Watkins?
No.
Robert Jones? No. So, case number 18-999-15, Randall Vaughn, 19010 East 8th Street South, has not been approved, as stated. All right. Is there anything? That's all for that particular, okay. All righty. All right, so that takes care of that one. And
It's movie time as soon as, well, I guess you can run the movie, can't
Sure.
you? Okay.
all right, so the last case on the agenda tonight is John Paul Priquet, or I'm not sure. Is that correct? And it's case number 18-999-16, John Paul Priquet, 3301 South Cedar Avenue, a variance request to the setback and fence requirements for the property at 3301 South Cedar Avenue. So we can go ahead and show the video, I suppose, right now.
Okay, this is the applicant's property here. That's his house. This is, we're standing on the side street there. His name escapes me at this moment. His house actually faces Cedar. And the place where he wants to put the garage and the fence line is along the side street here.
Okay,
We'll start it.
okay.
Okay, we're looking here in the backyard. This fence line would run right along here, and then the garage would be in this location right as we passed it there.
Okay,
We look to the southeast now, down the street, and then around, and I think go back around the street again. There are a couple of fences along the property lines on the north side of the street here that have been there for a number of years. And then also the shorter fence. Again, they were looking down the street to the other direction. We got one more here to show you too.
Okay.
This is, again, his backyard. The fence line will, property line is roughly even with that telephone pole or a little bit in front of it, right along through there. And again, here we're going to look down the street and then back into the backyard again.
Okay.
The applicant seeks 3 variances. The first is to he wishes to construct a garage on the north property line, which is along the street, and also along the rear property line, or the interior side, which is the back in this case, which is roughly where that fence line was. That's one variance. The second variance is the garage will be constructed in front of the house, which means north of the house in this case, between the house and the street. And then he also seeks to erect a 6-foot privacy fence along part of that north property line, which he couldn't do, is actually would be restricted through a 3-foot, like a chain link or picket fence, something like that you can see through. So those are the 3 variances that are involved with this application.
Okay. All right, it's, do we have someone that, that's here to speak on behalf of the owner or the applicant? Get it right here in a minute. All right.
Evening, Mr. Chairman, gentlemen of the board. I am
Okay.
John Burkett, owner of the property. Can you move that video backwards a little bit for me? I was taken recently. I still see my boxes from moving in sitting there next to the garbage can. Yeah, right there. So that telephone pole is the northeast corner of my property. Do you all have this in your file? Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of outlines essentially exactly what I want to do. On this sheet right here, that northeast corner is that telephone pole.
Now, you're sure that's the corner? I mean, have you had it surveyed?
I've not had it surveyed yet.
Well, but you don't know if that's the exact corner. You're assuming the pole is the corner. It may be, it may not.
It is possible, looking at where the fence lines are on the
But if you
properties
get
over
it
there.
surveyed, that would be, you'd get a certificate of survey, then that would clear there. But, go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I agree with you. That would cement exactly where the corner of the property would be. But based off the images, these images are off the county appraiser showing the property boundaries. But essentially, I'm just looking to put a workshop in that corner of the property. As you can see, I've got a trailer in the yard, a canoe in the yard, and a couple other things. I'd like to have them not in my yard. I like to keep a clean yard. My wife and I also do a little bit of woodworking, and there is not space in that little garage on the house that's attached to the house for our tools, and we have motorcycles that are in there. Army gear from both of us is filling up all of our spaces right now. But essentially, that's really it. If I have to go by code, the second image on the bottom there shows where the garage would be. That would require about a 16-foot wide by a roughly 30-foot long driveway to be built to it. It's a lot of concrete, and that's a lot of money. I cannot afford that much concrete.
Okay.
That's what.
So you want to build it right on the property line itself, is what you're saying?
Ideally, yes. I could also do the 5-foot setback from the property line. I'd be okay with that.
But you still want to get it up on the north property line?
Absolutely, because then I wouldn't have a building in the middle of my yard, and it wouldn't be in the middle of my neighbor's backyard when they.
But you realize that that's called zero setback. And that's not normally, unless you have what they call planned unit development or something like that, you usually cannot build right on the property line. That's why they have front and rear setback lines and building lines. That's why you have them. And I've never run across anything like this, I'll be honest with you, where you want to build right on the line. I mean, now sometimes there might be something that's there previously where somebody put it, built something, and it might be on the line, but that would be a different
Where's
scenario.
the utility easement there for,
I haven't checked that. Some of these old subdivisions like this don't have utility easements along property lines. I don't know the history of it. We haven't really got that far. If so, you would actually have to set the building back if there was. And if there was, it'd probably be in the 5-foot range, is my guess.
So what you're saying, Mr. Preakett, is to move it back to where, say in front where the house is, because of the cost of concrete, you don't see it as affordable. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
well,
But,
before we go too far ahead, we ought to maybe think very seriously about maybe determining, get a survey, maybe to know where your exact property line is, and also to find out about the utility easements.
yes, I mean, we can do that. I mean, but he's gonna have an expenditure.
But I'm also asking the city staff.
Is that something that you think?
Well, I can check on the utility easements because we could dig up the plat, and see if there is one, but as far as the surveying cost, I mean, that would be something that he would have to take care
Well,
of.
okay, I understand he would do it, but okay, that, the survey doesn't take care of the, wouldn't involve the easement.
No, it would just show where the property corners are.
Okay, all right. Then,
And if it's an old subdivision, chances are that it doesn't have any easements on the plat.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know that. I haven't seen the plat. But if it's really old, those old plats were, they just didn't have them on there. Of course, the city later on put ordinances and so forth in for side yard, front setback, and now, I mean, it's 25-foot minimum for any development. Am I right on that? For
That's
front-
right,
from
on
building
corner
lines.
lots, on corner lots, that's right.
Right.
On both, wherever
Both
there's a
sides of
street.
the corner, but I'm just saying, even the ones that are not corner lots, they still have a 25-foot, I think, minimum building setback line, don't they?
That's right.
Okay.
In a typical single family, so.
Okay.
And also with the fence, I do have two large dogs. One's about 60 pounds, one's about 45 pounds. And 3-foot fence looks nice, but I would be much better, more secure keeping my dogs in the yard with a 6-foot fence. Obviously, without the variance, I can just put a 3-foot fence up. But with the variance, I could put a 6-foot privacy fence up and that close off that part of my yard.
Mhm. Right. Well, I suppose we could, what's our next option here because right now, we don't know where the northeast corner, we don't know where the north property line or the east property line is, but, I don't know. I'm just saying, folks, putting a building right on the property line is not normally approved. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it wouldn't ever be, but it's a hard sell.
Is it an accessory structure? Is it normally a 5-foot?
5 foot from an interior side yard, that's correct, but not from the street side.
So the east property line, it would be required to be 5 feet off of that?
That's right, and that's why there's 3 parts to this variance.
Okay.
But then they'd have to be back 20,
Well, it'd have to
Right.
be even with the house,
or
not
even
in
with
front
the
of
house.
the,
Okay, so the
with
house
the
may
north
be back.
wall of the north
We don't
wall
know
of the
how far
house.
that house is from the property line, but hopefully it would be 25 or more. We don't know that for sure, but,
I mean, this is a wider lot than many of the ones in the neighborhood.
right. Is this something we want to possibly, Mr. Preakett, would you want to continue this to another meeting of this board and do your, I don't know if you call it due diligence or do the survey and get your costs involved? I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but we don't have enough information here for us to render a decision without knowing where the corners are, especially since you're going to build it right on the corners, and I'm not sure the city's going to approve that anyway. I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just trying to say there's certain rules and regulations that no matter who builds there, you're going to have certain regulations the city's gonna have on it when you go to get a building permit.
Yeah, well, for due diligence, especially for my neighbor who's not gonna want a garage in their backyard, if I have to go get a survey to show where the property lines are and request even just being 5 feet off that property line to make everybody happy, that's what I gotta do. That's a lot cheaper than spending 10 grand or 15 grand or 20 grand on concrete, so.
Well, we also, we're sympathetic to your problem here, but if we go ahead with it and we turn it down, you've kind of had it. But if we continue it and we can kind of see it, then we can kind of review it and maybe look at it a lot more favorably. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, you're not gonna commit yourself to any action you might take in the future, even if he has a survey done.
That's true, that's true.
We can't make, but we can make it possibly, we don't know exactly, but where the front of your house is from the property line, we don't have any idea how far it's from the north, what we call the north property line itself, not the edge of the street, because you've got the green space in between the street, the edge of the street, and the actual property line, so.
Around 12 feet or so, yeah.
But we don't know, so they'd have to locate I guess it'd be your garage, the front part of your house, isn't that right? I mean, where your garage goes out to the street, and see how far that's back from the property line, and then if you go, well, maybe you can get you have 5 foot, is that the minimum that he needs, right, for the east property line to?
That's right.
For the accessory building?
Interior property line.
But he has to be back from the front property line 25, doesn't he? At
It
least?
has to be even with the house.
So if it's not 25, it could still be even with the house, right?
Because
I'm
of
just
what
saying
it's
if it is, I'm not saying it isn't. It may be 26 or 27 feet back. We don't know that until we get a
That's
survey.
right. You don't know that.
So I think maybe you might be wise, Mr. Preckett, to get a survey so you know exactly where you are, and have them locate at least the front part of the house, and you know where your northeast corner is and where the northwest corner and down. I mean, they just do a survey. That's what they would do. They would monument the corners, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that way, it takes away the guesswork.
That makes sense.
I mean, you'd want to, if you're going to spend the money, you want a certificate of survey. You don't want somebody to say, oh yeah, well, there's the corner there by that telephone pole.
Yeah,
Or
Mr. Preckett could request to be continued, to
Okay.
the October 18th meeting.
Okay, we'll just do that.
Well, he would.
Yes.
he
Well,
should
you
really
need
request
to
it.
let us know if you want to do that.
Yes, I'd like to request continued until October meeting.
Okay?
Should be able to get that done before then.
All right, so now we just vote on that to continue, right?
So moved.
So move.
I'll second it.
Second it. So we will have the vote on to continue case number 18-999-16, John Paul Preckett, 3301 South Cedar Avenue here in Independence. It will be continued to the 18th of October metim, and he will.
You need
the owner-
to take the vote because.
Oh, I need to do the, okay. Okay, Tim
Yes.
Watkins, Jack Lehman,
Yes,
Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
and Robert Jones, yes. So this case number 18-99-16, John Paul Preckett, has been continued to October the 16th.
And Mr. Borders, you can help
Let's say
Mr.
16th,
Preckett with
18th.
the,
Yeah, I'll check on the
utilities.
easement issue along that north property line. I would request that the applicant, after he gets a copy of the survey, could you bring it to me so I can circulate it to them?
Absolutely.
Well, if you got title, did you get title insurance, I presume, when you bought the property, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's any easements, normally if there's any encumbrances or easements, they'd be on the title report, but if not, then you probably need to know.
I'll have to look at
But,
it.
but anyway, so I just wanted to point that to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, we really appreciate it. So it's continued to the October the 18th of 2018. All right. All right, folks, I guess we'll do the approval of the minutes from the August the 16th. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Approval of the minutes from August the 16th, 2018. We are just going to do a, by acclamation, can't we?
Yep.
Those in favor of approving, or as submitted, those that approve the minutes from the August the 16th, we say yay.
Yay.
Yay. Those approved, like sign. The yays have it, so the minutes have been approved from the August the 16th, 2018 meeting. And last on the agenda is election of the officers. So, you all,
This has been put off for several months. I mean, it's,
usually you have it in May or June or something, is
it's
that?
supposed to be, I think, the first meeting, well, the meeting in June, I believe. June or
Okay.
July, one of the two.
Okay, all right. So now we'll have election of officers, and you all, I guess,
I nominate Robert Jones as chairman.
okay,
Second.
all right. So I've been do we just go ahead and do the vote like we normally do?
Sure.
Okay. Those in favor of making Robert Jones continue as chairman of the Board of Adjustment? Okay, we'll just make a call here. Gene Ogle,
I vote yes.
Jack Lehman,
I vote yes.
and Tim Watkins.
Yes.
And I guess I'm supposed to say yes for myself, I guess, right? Okay, yes, Robert Jones, yes.
Be 3 to
There's
1.
only 4 of us here. If you vote
I
no,
oh, I
It'd be 3 to 1 anyway,
Oh, there you go.
if you said no.
No, well, I've gone ahead and, so and then we'll, did we say continue, we'll have the same
Well, you're
co-chairman?
past that point. I mean, now you gotta do a chairman. I mean, you could have kept the slate as it was and just
Oh.
voted on it one time, but since you did the one, then you have to do the other separately.
So the one for the co-chairman, I need to
I'm
do.
Vice chairman.
I
Vice
move that
chair.
Roy Brown be the vice chairman.
I second.
We got a second, all right.
I'll third it.
Deal 30. All right, Gene Ogle, continuing as vice chairman, Roy Brown. Gene Ogle,
Yes.
Jack Lehman,
Yes.
Tim Watkins,
Yes.
Robert Jones, yes. So Roy Brown has been approved as co-chairman.
Move we adjourn.
And I guess,
It's, what,
gavel, this
29?
meeting has been
Is that
adjourned.
29?
Thank you, guys.